I have just bought this new, actually it's not really new, it's a Mac PowerBook G3 from eBay for just 25 euros, and let's unbox it. Let's try to hook it up and to power it up and see if it still works. It's 30 years old. I want to install ReBirth on it. Let's see if it works. So let's try to boot it and see if it still works. Hopefully the seller said it was going to work, so let's press. Yeah, we have the chime sound, so it's probably still working. Let's see if it loads up as well. Actually, my plan is to try to install a new fresh copy of macOS 9.2 and to change the drive to a NVMe drive. Okay, so it doesn't really seems to boot, but it chimed up. Let's wait some more minutes and then we can try to reinstall everything. Yeah, definitely not booting up, nothing on screen, nothing is working. I don't have any pointer, mouse pointer, nothing like that. So let's see if we can. Yeah, actually something is going on right now. Okay, so the disk is probably either corrupt or not working. So let's try to boot from the CD and see if we can install the operating system. If not, we need to change the hard drive for sure. So now I'm going to use my original copy of macOS 9.2. Actually, I should have also an original copy, but this is a backup. Let's try to put it into the CD tray and then close the computer to shut down the computer and try to reboot from the CD. Let's see if something happens now. Okay, so you press the Alt button or the Option button when booting up. So the CD drive should come up, unless the CD drive itself is fucked up. But I think I have a replacement one and I have a working one. Yeah, still nothing on screen at this point. But I can hear the CD spinning, so hopefully. Yeah, it spins, but okay, so we have the CD here now. I cannot see the hard drive, so probably the hard drive is damaged. Well, let's start to boot from the CD anyway. So let's select the CD and start the installation process. Yeah, so actually now the CD boot up. I have of course sped up the installation process. So let's try to click on the macOS install and see if we can install a fresh copy on the hard drive, but I think that the drive is corrupt. Let's continue. Yeah, destination disk. Yeah, of course there's no disk, so the disk is probably not working. We can try to format the disk, but I think it's not going to work. So let's go back. Let's go to utilities. We should find here the disk or the drive setup here. Yeah, no volume at the moment. Yeah, so the disk seems to be corrupt or not present. Actually, there is something. There's something not initialized here. Yeah, let's see. Maybe we can try to initialize. Anyway, I want to install an SSD drive, so the old drive will be removed anyway. But first, let's see if it's still working, and then I will replace it. Yeah, initialization failed, so it's probably not going to initialize the disk. So the disk is probably, as I was suspecting, corrupted after all these years. So yeah, we need to install a new drive here, and I have some spare drives with connectors with adapters, because this is a very old computer. Is still using the ATA, the ATA connectors, not SATA. Yeah, so the disk is corrupt, definitely. Okay, so let's shut it down and try to install a new disk. And in order to do that, you simply need to push these two small keyboard retainers here, so it's very easy to remove the keyboard. Actually, there are different models. This is called the Pismo model. I have another model, and the keyboard comes out by moving a couple of hinges just behind here where the two bays are located. So we have the old drive here. We need to unscrew just a little bit of screws and then to remove this. So yes, we have some screws here, and I think here as well. Yeah, these actually are the memory and the CPU, I think. I will also try to have an additional thermal paste here. So probably this now comes out. So I think we simply need to lift it. Fuck. Okay. And just be careful, yeah, because we have a connector here with a cable. So yeah, we need to remove all these chassis, I think. And then the hard drive itself is held by some Torx screws, so I had to change my screwdriver. So one here. There are also these small rubbers in here. 1, 2. Yeah, I should have removed the connector from the unit, but I don't want to disassemble too many things. So let's remove this one as well. So we have 3 screws now and the 4th one. Okay, so now the drive should be able to come out, and we can remove the connector. We have lots of dust as well. So carefully, try not to break anything. So we remove this connector. So you see here we have a ATA connector, and the disk drive, if there's a date on it, I can see it. I think it's just a 6 GB drive, and I think it's completely gone. So I will trash it. And this will be my replacement. This is simply an enclosure, and inside is an adapter. You can find it on AliExpress. There's a link in the description. Inside I have a small hard drive, which is an SSD drive. It's 64 GB. I think I found them used at a flea market here for maybe €2 or something like that. So let's close it. We can try to put the connector back now. Yeah, and that should be it. And then to put the drive back into its position. Yes, and then to screw it back. Okay, so we should simply now put this connector here back. Something that fell off here. Oh, this is the antenna for the card. So let's put this back with the 2 original screws. I will not put the battery in because it's for sure gone. This is the old drive, so they are going to be trashed. And I'm going to insert again the CD drive in the original bay. And again, let's try to boot everything up and see if we now can see the disk and format the disk. Okay, so it chimes, so a very good sign. Again, I'm pressing the option button or the alt button, so maybe this time we should see both the CD and maybe the drive, even if the drive is not formatted. I don't know what's on this drive. Actually, I don't remember. I think I used this before for another PowerBook, but I'm not sure. Okay, we have the CD as well, and that's it. We only have a CD. Okay, no problem. I hope we will be able to format the drive. So let's start the install procedure again. So yes, it's starting up. Yes, let's try to launch the macOS installation again, and let's see if we now are able to see at least to see a drive and to format or to initialize it. So let's continue it on the first. Okay, again, so we don't have any destination disk, so I think we need to try to initialize it before. So let's go back to utilities and see if this is working. Okay, so we have a drive here which is not initialized, which is telling us that the disk cannot be initialized. I don't know why. Let's try to click initialize. Yeah, I want to initialize it. Okay, so it's actually working. At least it seems to be working now. Okay, initialization was successful. Yeah, so let's try to go back to an installation now. Yeah, now we have a disk. We have an untitled disk here, luckily, and we can install it. Yeah, so let's start the installation. I'm going to speed up, of course, the procedure, but it's going because it's going to take at least, I think, 15 minutes. So let's start it, and let's see. Okay, we need to close the drive setup. Come on. I just want to close this. Okay, start again. Okay, so about 15 minutes to go.
20 minutes later.
Okay, so now the installation is finished. It just gave me a couple of errors because it wasn't able to read from the CD, so maybe the CD is not very good. Strange, because I have already installed other Macs with the CD, or probably the drive is not very good. However, it's not a big issue. So let's now try to quit and remove the CD and restart normally from the hard drive. So let's restart the unit. Yes, and it seems like it's booting normally from the hard drive. And yes, of course, it's giving me errors related to the network time because probably the internal battery is gone as well. No, not a huge problem at the moment. Let's try to eject the macOS installation. We don't need it anymore. And let's try to now to install ReBirth. And about ReBirth, I still have my original copy, so let's try to put that into the drive, which should install as normal. Okay, so we have the audio CD here and the ReBirth CD, installation CD now. So let's simply open it and click on install ReBirth. Yeah, very nice. Continue, and then we simply install. Okay. Yeah, installation is also very quick. They tell us it's better to restart the computer. I don't want to restart it, so I simply quit the installation, and let's see if now ReBirth starts. So let's go to the untitled disk, to application. Actually, it's not there, it's here, into a specific folder. Yeah, that's it. Let's try to launch it. The CD is still in the drive, so it shouldn't ask me for the CD. But the first time you're going to run the test, and it's going to perform a benchmark test to understand if the computer still supports ReBirth, which hopefully it will do. Okay, so let's now close the test, and ReBirth should be able to start. Yeah, so it's here in all its glory. So let's hear some audio. Yeah, it's very clicky actually at the moment. Let's try to, yeah, maybe it was really better to restart. But you can see it's installed, it's working as expected. Let's try to, yeah, it's really clicky. Okay, let's try to restart and see if it goes better. No, the audio is still really clicky. Let's try to go to the preferences and try to adjust the buffer settings so it's properly something related to that. Yeah, actually it's already quite high. Okay, let's try to use the crackle safe setting. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, in the next video I'm going to try to install some mods and see if everything works correctly. Stay tuned for the next episode in the series.